Hi there guys, my name's The Reaper. Today's video is going to be taking the butchers at Dirty Bomb. So for those of you who aren't aware, the purpose of these taking the butchers videos is to be halfway between a review and a first impressions. So this is going to be a benefit for people who say they go on Steam, they have a look at the Steam store, new game crops up and they think, oh, that looks interesting, might want to try that. Or say a friend recommends a game, says you should try this game, think okay, I'll have a look, see what it's like, go for a video. These are the kind of videos for you. So it's basically a quick summary of the game, explanation of the mechanics, and in this place a free-to-play model, and I'll have some gameplay footage as well. So you should hopefully be able to ascertain relatively quickly whether or not you're likely to enjoy the game without having to trawl through a bunch of let's plays or a bunch of gameplay videos. So this is just to kind of summarise quickly whether or not you're going to enjoy the game. Okay, so Dirty Bomb is a free-to-play multiplayer class-based online shooter. This is available on the Steam store. If you go on the Steam store, this uses your Steam account, just download the game, hit start, you'll be taken into the tutorial and it will use your Steam account to clarify everything, so you don't have to make a new account, which is quite nice. So this is a class-based game, so let's start by having a look at our classes. So there's 13 at the time I'm making this video. This is Sparks, the new one, so there's 13 now. So this is made in early July of 2015. Might be a few more after that. So everyone gets Skyhammer, which is our kind of support and arrow supply character, and Aura as standard. So these are the two classes you get as standard. There's also a rotation system of classes, so anyone who's played League of Legends will probably be familiar with this. So all these little clock icons here, that means the three classes are on the weekly class rotation for that week. So every week they'll switch these around, there'll be three other classes that anyone can play for free that week. So in this case we've got Spark, who's another medic, got Proxy, who's an objective specialist and drops down proximity mines. And we have Nader, who is similar to the demo man in TF2. So I'm going to be making a lot of TF2 comparisons just because there's a lot of similarities between the two. They're both free-to-play class shooters. So you get two classes and then whatever three are on rotation that week, so you always get at least 5, even if you've only just started the game. So you can unlock any of the other classes for either credits, which are your in-game currency, so you earn these by playing games and by completing missions. So that's your in-game currency. Or you can use real money as well. So the classes will be the 30,000 and 479, that's in English money, or they're either 50,000 and 7 quid, so that's about $10. So most of them are 7 quid or $10 or 50,000 credits. They are a bit pricey, the classes, however they are permanent unlocks. So there's 13 classes, you get 5 at least anyway. Any other classes you want you can unlock permanently for this sort of money. So they are a bit pricey, however you can unlock every single class in the game without having to spend any real currency, which is quite good. And the game is free to begin with, you don't have to pay any money. So any classes you've unlocked, including the ones you've bought and on free rotation, you can put into what's called your squad. So basically when you go into a game, you can't, unlike in TF2, switch between all the classes that you've unlocked. You can only take 3 in with you. So when you're during the setup part of a game, or if you join a game in progress, you can select what 3 classes you want in the squad, and when you start the game you can only use those 3 classes until another round starts. So say if I start a game, I'll have Skyhammer, Aura and Proxy as my squad, so when I actually start the game I can switch between these 3 indefinitely, you don't get penalised. So say I needed a medic in my team, I could switch to medic or switch back and forth without being penalised, however you only ever get 3 classes. There are a couple of repeats of these classes, so for example, Aura is your standard medic. She has a health station and a defibrillator, which can revive down teammates quickly at close range. And there's a few variations on these. So say Sparks is free this week. She's also a medic, however her stats are slightly different, her weapons are slightly different. And instead of Aura's kit, she's got a revive gun, so she can revive from far away. So as long as she charges that up, targets a friendly teammate who's downed, can get them up from quite a distance, which is nice. And instead of a health station, which will passively heal anyone nearby, she can drop a health pack, which if anyone picks it up or she hits someone with it, they'll get instantly revived to full health. So there's a few variations on classes that fulfill similar roles but do it slightly differently. So say we've also got Proxy here, Objective Specialist, all the game modes are objective based, I'll show that in a minute. So the Objective Specialist completes, say, Arm C4, diffuses it quicker, completes objectives quicker. Proxy is a bit quicker, has a proximity mine, which is, as you might expect, come in range of it, you'll blow up. Or an alternative, similar basic role, Objective Specialist here is Bushwhacker. Instead of, he's a bit slower, has a bit more health, but he has a turret instead of mine, so he sets a turret up. So they fulfill largely the same roles within the team, however they do it in a slightly different way. We've also got a few variations, so you've got Vasili's kind of a sniper with a heartbeat sensor, which is going to show nearby enemies. Rhino's kind of a big minigun guy, so he doesn't have a lot of support skills, but he has his minigun which you can pull out, which has unlimited ammo. Nader is your, as I've said, your kind of grenade launching support class. Fragger's a close assault. Fletcher's also an objective specialist, has sticky bombs. And you've got Artie, who is a variation on Skyhammer. It's pretty similar, slightly different stats, slightly different weapons, and his artillery works in a slightly different way. Okay, so those are all your classes. So you get at least 5, 3 on rotation, 2 as standard, and whatever you unlock. So you get 3 of those which you can take into your squad. So what kit you've got and what perks you have from these classes is determined by your loadout cards. So if we have a look at these. Okay, so your classes, equipment and their perks are going to be determined by what's called these loadout cards. So these are arranged in order of quality. So if we go down here, we start with the basic class cards as you log in, so you're not going to have any perks. You're going to have standard equipment. So these are all the basic ones. You're then going to start unlocking lead ones which have 1 perk. You then, if we go up, you get these iron ones which have 2 perks. Bronze here, like Skyhammer, have 3. Silver, gold and cobalt all have 3 as well. Important point here, you unlock these by opening cases which you can pay in the store for 1,000 credits, which I'll do here just to demonstrate it. So you unlock these cases for 1,000, or you also get these just by playing games as well. Every few games you'll unlock one. So I'm just going to bought one here, I'll open this. So I'm going to get a random loadout card. If I get lucky it might be quite a rare one, however chances are I'm going to end up with a lead one here. I think it's Sawbones.
Yeah.
So I got a lead loadout. So I've got these equipment here, so I've got the stiletto knife, the silence pistol and this weapon. And I've got this particular perk. So a lead one only has 1 perk. Iron is going to have 2, bronze and above is going to have 3. So improves any repair tools and disarm rates by 20%, which is useful for him. So I could then equip that loadout. So they're determined by quality, so lead is going to have 1 perk, iron's 2, bronze is 3, above that is also going to be 3. Important point here, if you're worried about the fact that it's completely random potluck, what perks you're going to get, what equipment you're going to get, how good your card's going to be, well, isn't it a bit pay to win? Doesn't exactly work like that as you actually play. The problem is lead only has 1, iron's 2, bronze is 3. Above that, so you've got silver, gold and cobalt. Above bronze is purely cosmetic improvements. So once you get up to 3 perks, which is bronze, anything above that, you're not going to get any extra stat advantages or any better equipment than that. It's purely cosmetic. So here I've got a cobalt card for Nader. If this was a bronze card with the same perks and the same equipment, it wouldn't have any additional benefit. It's just the cobalt card has got, say, rarer cosmetics, say skin. It's got different looking, say, equipment, different paint jobs on the guns. It's going to look a bit more unique. However, in terms of stats and effectiveness, it's going to be exactly the same as an equivalent bronze card. So once you get above bronze, you don't get any additional benefit. And you may say to that, well, I just pulled a lead card, and I think it said 80% chance with a case of putting a lead card there. So that's going to be a problem. However, if you go into the store, you can actually buy, for any class, there's a bunch of bronze loadouts, you can buy these for credits. So say there's all these different loadout options, perk options, you can have a look at these. So say if I wanted this one, it's a bronze card, 3 perks. Is a bit pricey, however, anyone just with standard credits can buy any bronze loadout card. So these are essentially, in terms of stats, the equivalent of a silver, gold or cobalt card in terms of effectiveness. So anyone can buy a maximum effectiveness loadout card for any class. So people who pay real money aren't going to have any objective advantage over free-to-play players. You can also buy boosters for real money, a little bit pricey. So 6 hours is going to double the amount of credits you get for 6 hours. This is only in game time. So say I bought a 6-hour booster, I played for an hour after I activated it, logged off, it's going to stay at 5 hours until I log in and start playing again, which is quite nice. You can buy elite cases, real money. These are very expensive. 4 quid for 1 case is a bit annoying. 80% chance of silver, gold or cobalt, so the lowest you'll get is silver. However, as I've just pointed out, these are going to be cosmetic stuff mainly. Any of these 3 cards are going to be, in terms of stats, the same as a bronze card. So you don't have to worry about free to play. It is quite a fair system. If you end up opening those cases and you don't have the credits to buy as many loadouts as you want, and you end up keep getting lead, or lead or iron, which are only 1 or 2 perks. Also, another thing you can do if you go to loadouts. So say most of these down here are lead because you've got the most chance of pulling a lead from a standard case. You can do what's called trading up.
I give you ammo. I kill bad guys. I'm just lovely, really.
I just thought I'd let Skyhammer speak there. The voice acting is very good in this game. I do like the classes. It's quite funny. The writing's good. So if I say I wanted a new loadout card for Proxy, she's just come into the free-to-play rotation. I haven't got any good loadout cards for her. If I select her, I can select a rarity. So for an iron, you trade up one level. So I can pick any 3 lead cards for any class, and I can trade them up for an iron card. So I've got all these lead cards I'm never really going to use because I've got better cards. Doesn't matter what class they are. I've got Rhino, Vasilian, Sparks. I'm never really going to use these loadouts because I've got better ones. Select them, pay 500 credits, trade up, and I'm automatically going to get an iron card from that. So I've got Guardian Angel and Drilled for that. And I can do the same thing again. If I go back, that's only iron. I want an extra perk, so I want a decent card. So if I could select bronze, autofill iron cards I'm not really going to use. Sawbones I've got a gold card for. I've already got an iron for Rhino, and I'm trading out the proxy card as well to get a bronze one, so I don't need that. It's going to be 1,000 this time. Trade up. So I've got rid of all my old cards. I spent 1,500 credits, which isn't that much, and I've already got a bronze card for proxy. So Guardian Angel, Drilled, and Quick Draw, which are quite good. So that was a class I didn't have a loadout for. I've now got a decent loadout bronze card, which is the highest effectiveness for that class. So you can buy loadouts with credits, you can buy classes with credits. Anything above bronze is cosmetic. You can always buy a bronze loadout, and even then, if you keep getting rubbish loadouts in your cases, you can just trade them up into a good thing. So I've only been playing this game about a week. I've already found I've got bronze, if not iron at least, loadouts for all the classes I've got. So it's quite a fair model, I'd say. I don't think I've got any disadvantage playing against any player that uses real money to buy equipment because they're buying cosmetic upgrades above a bronze level. Okay, so I'm going to cut briefly and we're going to go into a game just to see what that's like.
First, defend the extractor fan controls. Then stop them fighting their way down the escalators. Finally, don't let them destroy the pump controls.
Okay, so briefly at the start of every game it will show you the objectives you have to do either as attackers or defenders, so all the games are objective based, got to bear that in mind. So I'm playing this first game, I'm playing a Skyhammer. You saw me chucking those ammo bags around, so I can chuck them. If you hit someone with them, they'll instantly pick up the ammo, or you can just chuck them on the ground like I did and pick them up, like that ammo bag on the tube there. So you can see the gameplay with the guns is designed, you can hip fire fairly easily at medium to short range. It's designed with that in mind, a lot of time you're going to be hip firing. Iron sights are used, does make your gun more accurate, however, you can hit fire with pretty much any class pretty effectively. So you look at my ammo count in the bottom right hand corner, I had 35 in this magazine and then 105 on backup. That's my maximum ammo capacity after I picked up some ammo. This is the same for all classes, you don't start with max ammo and your max isn't actually that high. So basically you need to make sure you have some ammo classes in your team, which is why you get Skyhammer as default, to keep your team stocks on ammo. Otherwise, if you just run around, never get ammo bags, you're going to burn through your ammo and you're just going to get killed obviously. So you need to make sure you're stocking your team at all times and you've got guys in your team that are playing as ammo classes. So when you get down, you go into a little bleed out mode and then you need to shoot them or stab them, hopefully with a melee weapon, like in this case. The melee weapons are mainly designed for finishing off enemies that are in bleed out mode. So if you shoot someone, you go into bleed out and then you see me writhing about on the ground there. And then you generally use your melee weapon if you can to finish them off with one hit, or you can just keep shooting them, although that will obviously burn ammo. So you can see they've opened this side door here. This side door I've just walked through wasn't open to begin with. Basically what this is, that side door as well. They're trying to blow up C4 in the main objective there. However, you also get little side objectives. So there were 2 little generators either side of the map, which I just got blown up at earlier. In this case, if they detonated C4 at those objectives, it would open these 2 side doors. So basically you get little side objectives, which makes completing your main objective easier. So basically those 2 side doors got blown open, so otherwise they would have to go round, but they blew the side doors open, so they can quickly come in with the side and it makes it a lot easier for completing the main objective. So you can see that little generator on the left there with the grey icon. If they blow that up, they can close what's called our barriers down. So basically where our spawn area is, there's a bunch of barriers that are open. If they blow up that generator, the barrier is shut and we have to walk around, so it makes it harder to respawn. See, the medic got someone up there. So once you see the little heart logo over someone, they're in bleed out mode. Any friendly teammate can get them up, it takes a few seconds, although a medic can do it instantly. So the medics are good at that, unsurprisingly perhaps. So basically you need to make sure when you get someone to bleed out, like here, you finish them off, once they go grey, they're completely dead and they can't be revived. So here I'm in bleed out, and my medic can get me back up instantly. That's how quickly a medic can get someone back up, excuse me. So you need to make sure your medics are on point, they're getting people back up when they can. And when you kill someone, you need to make sure they're fully down to get them grey. So he's there, got him grey, finished him off completely. You get a little XP bonus as well for doing that. So you could be racking up a lot of kills, however if you're not completely finishing your enemies, they're going to be getting back up. Also, you can't get back up if someone gibs you, which gibbing means, for those of you who don't know, if a grenade hits you or an airstrike hits you directly, you get blown into a million pieces, they can't get you back up then. So basically it's about when you're killing a target, get them down, make sure they're down. So I'm down here again, they don't finish me off, medic gets me back up, and I've got a healing station here so I'm back up. And then I can rack up a couple of kills. So essential to remember, take your enemies down completely. Preferably with a melee weapon, it's a one hit kill to finish off, doesn't always work. The gameplay is also designed to be quite fluid. What you can do is, any class can do is kind of a wall jump thing. So you can do a regular jump, then if you come in contact with a side surface, if you press jump again, you'll bounce off it. So you can do this to kind of avoid enemy fire like that. Jumped off the side barrier. Some classes, if they've got the right perks, can do this 3 times, which makes them really hard to hit. So some of the squishier classes, such as proxy or the lower health classes, they're a bit quicker. If they jump around, they can avoid a lot of enemy fire. Just make sure my team are full on ammo. So again, I'd rather keep my distance here, so just make sure they get down, use your secondary, it's quite good for that. Just remember, as with a game like TF2, every single game mode in Dirty Bomb is objective based. You can rack up as many kills as you like. If they get the objective, it's irrelevant. So just make sure, focus on your objective. So I'm just going to switch to another class now.
First, repair the EV. Then escort it to the construction lift. Then destroy the servers with 2 EMP charges. Escort the EV to the objective.
Okay, this is none of that much I'm playing, so the little objective, just description there. So this is basically a payloady type mission for those TF2 players. So they'll probably be familiar with this. Basically we have to repair that EV there, which is that vehicle. Starts off damaged. You can repair the vehicle and they can take it out and you'll have to repair it intermittently through the mission if they take it out, if you're in the attacking team. So basically we have to repair that, keep moving it along, repair it when it gets damaged, and get it to the end where we have to open it up. If you're playing an objective specialist class, like I switched to proxy here, this is where they come in use. Basically I can repair that about twice as quickly as any other teammate. So basically that's them trying to repair it here. Anyone can repair it. Since I can repair it quicker, it automatically cuts to me and I'll repair it. I've just repaired the EV fully there for my team. So then you have to have someone next to it just to move it up, and then you just need to get it to the enemy's base. So the enemy can't damage it with small arms fire, just with basic weapons. I think you need either grenades or airstrikes, I think are the best way of taking it out. So if they take it out, we'll have to repair it again. So while the footage is playing, just my actual opinion on the game, I think Dirty Bomb does what it does quite well. I think it's a fairly balanced game. I haven't encountered any classes that I feel are really overpowered. It is still in beta, however, it does run very well. I've only encountered 1 or 2 connection issues, which to be fair may have been on my end anyway. My internet did seem to work, but I think I've played a few games now. I've only encountered real connection issues on one. I've had pretty stable lag. Well, pretty stable ping is probably a better way of putting that. I haven't had any major lag issues. People seem to get fairly consistent pings when we're playing. Haven't had any lag issues. Bugs, I don't think I've really encountered any major bugs, if any at all. So it runs very smoothly. The classes do feel different. There's a lot of variety with the different speeds, the different weapon types, which are quite nice. I think the free-to-play system is very good. It definitely doesn't feel pay to win. I'm just as effective with reasonably basic bronze loadouts as I am against players with the more expensive cosmetic stuff. So Dirty Bomb does what it does really well. The gunplay feels nice and smooth. I like the sort of bleed out mechanics. Medics work quite well. It feels that every class has a sort of specialist role. Every class feels like when you're doing that class's speciality, so when you're a medic, when you're getting people up, it feels like you're contributing a lot to your team. When you're playing an objective specialist, when you're repairing stuff, you notice immediately how quickly you can do it. It feels like every class is viable, every class has a role, and the classes are quite amusing as well. It's kind of a, again, TF2 comparison. The classes have got kind of nationalities and personalities, what they're like. The voice acting is really good, the writing's quite funny. You don't hear a lot of the classes speak during the game, but when you do, say when Skyhammer throws his airstrike, he has quite a few good lines. So the classes are quite interesting as well. Balance is pretty good, haven't had any major issues on that front. Also, I like the progressive objectives as well, which is quite nice. So the EV here we've just pushed all the way up. The back's then going to open up. In this case, we have 2 data cores, they're called. So the first one up opens here. We have to pick that up and escort that to the part of the base. So you're doing several objectives, different objectives every time on missions, and the side objectives are quite nice as well. So on the first map, if you complete the side objectives, it makes it easier to complete your main objective. So you're focusing on quite a lot of things at once. It's quite an interesting system. Only problems I could really mention I have tended to find I've joined servers. When you click on a server, when in the server browser itself, you can just quick join, which is normally okay. If you look in the server browser, you'll refresh servers. They'll have maximum or near maximum players, say 13 or 14, depending on the map size. Sometimes I found I join it and then it might just be bad timing when a match ends and everyone just wants to quit. But I'll join a server, and in those few seconds, the map could be virtually empty. A few times you'll have to quit out to find a game that's actually got a few players in, which is a little bit frustrating. However, this is kind of a minority of the time. Most of the time when you join a game, they'll have the majority of people in it. Also, the wall jump mechanics, I haven't shown a lot in this video, admittedly, but when you kick off walls, it does feel quite cool when you do it. It kind of keeps everyone moving, keeps the game fluid, but it doesn't feel... sometimes it can feel a little bit bunny hoppy, but if you keep your aim well, it's not going to be a problem. If you kick off a wall, it just looks cool. It kind of gives you a little bit of survivability if you're a faster class. Like here, just kicked off that thing. Makes you hard to hit. But I'm not aware of any... certainly there's no kind of major exploits. All the classes feel viable, but none of them feel kind of ridiculous. There's counters to every classes. There's weaknesses to every classes. So as I say, it's a free-to-play game. The free-to-play model, I think, is very good. Seems very fair. No major complaints there. I haven't paid any money to this game. The game itself is free, but I don't feel any gameplay disadvantage. Some of the unique stuff is quite cool if you're into cosmetic stuff. Otherwise, the classes are a bit expensive, but you can unlock all of them permanently just with credits. And the rotation as well means you've got quite a few. So I've no real complaints on that front. Dirty Bomb does its job, I think, very well. As a free-to-play shooter, I haven't had any major lag or bug issues. Gameplay feels very smooth. Classes feel interesting. I like the mechanics, the sort of ammo mechanic. You have to keep your team stocked. A team that works together better, as on-the-point medics, as people supplying ammo better, is going to function more effectively as a team. And the objectives are quite nice. You've got sort of kind of a basic background, as it explains at the start of every mission, to what objectives you are. So you have to do one objective, then another, and the side objectives make it quite interesting as well. So there's a lot of ways you can approach a level. Levels are quite well designed. So yeah, I think if you're kind of interested in the game, look on Steam, just on the store page. It's free to play anyway, and it's got a fair free to play model, which is generally the biggest complaint people have about these sort of free to play type games. But I think it's a very fair model. If you like first person shooters, you'll probably be happy with this. So I think this is definitely worth checking out. Free, as I say, decent free to play model, works well, no bugs, no real lag issues, very stable considering it's still technically in beta. It does say it's in beta. They don't make any bones about this, but it runs very well. I think if you're interested, you want a new FPS, you're a TF2 guy especially, this is a nice change. It's a fun and interesting game. Okay, so guys, that's about the end of the video, so thanks very much for watching. If you liked it, please like or subscribe. It goes a long way to helping the channel. Any feedback, any questions you think I may have missed, you're still curious about, leave it in the comments. I'll see if I can respond, if I know the answer to it. Other than that, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Any feedback below in the comments as well. And I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.